and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be making one of my favorite desserts, a fruit pizza. This is my third recipe video I've ever done. You should definitely go check out my s'mores bites recipe video, which I filmed just a couple days ago, and it's on my YouTube channel. It should be right before this video, so definitely go check that out if you are a fan of recipe videos. So like I said, today I'm going to be making a fruit pizza, and here's what you need. So I'm going to be doubling the recipe in this video. So if you are not doubling it, you're going to need 16 ounces of cookie dough. In my case, I'm going to need 32. You're going to need 8 ounces of cream cheese. In my case, I'm going to need 16. Also, you are going to need a half teaspoon of vanilla. In my case, 1 teaspoon. And you're going to need a 1/3 cup of sugar. I'm going to be using 2/3 cup. And I use 3 kiwis for this, but if you're just doing the normal recipe, I recommend using 1.5 or 2. And then I also cut up a whole pound of strawberries. You're definitely going to need to cut up your chips if that's not obvious already. And then you're also going to need cooking oil. And the measurements you're going to need are a half teaspoon or 1 teaspoon. And you're also going to need a 1/3 cup or 2/3 cup. And then you're also going to need a pan. You can either use a normal pan or a pizza pan. In my case, I like using the normal pans better. And also, in my case, I'm going to need to be using 2 of them. And you're also going to need a stand mixer or some sort of mixer, or you can hand mix it. So let's get right into it. So the next step is to preheat your oven to 350 degrees. And you're going to take your cookie dough and you're just going to start smashing it all together because it's in little squares. Unless you get the roll of it, then you have to smash it together like that. But for me, it's in these little squares. So you have to smash it all together so that you can even it out on your pan. So it's going to be like a big old chunk of cookie dough. Now, you're going to need to take a pan and you need to put cooking spray on it before you put the cookie dough on it. You don't want a crazy amount of cooking spray, but you need enough. So I put about that much. And now we are going to take the cookie dough and we're just going to start layering it down in here. So I will show you guys what that looks like once I'm done. So when you're done pressing that all down, it should look something like this. And I also did this one over here. This one is a little thinner, so I'm going to have to check on this one a little more. But I have one tip. If it's sticking to your hands a lot, use some flour put it on your hands and just see how that works. So I'm going to have to check mine every 5-10 minutes because just to make sure that it cooks well. So now we have to put them in the oven. I am going to put mine in for about 15 minutes, but I'm going to check them about every 5 minutes just because one of them is pretty thin. So I want to make sure that cooks good and doesn't get burnt. So I'm going to go put those in the oven. So while those are in the oven for about 15 minutes, like I said, I'm going to check mine. We're going to make our cream cheese frosting or spread or whatever you want to call it. So I put my cream cheese in first, which I put 2 cream cheese things in it. So you only really need 1 if you're only going to make the normal recipe. And then I'm going to get 2/3 cups of sugar or 1/3 if you're making the normal recipe. And I'm going to put it in here. And then I'm getting 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. But once again, if you are doing the normal recipe, only put a half. Because vanilla extract can be overpowering at times. So you definitely do not want to put too much of that in there. So once you do that, if you have a stand mixer, make sure you lock it. And then start it on low. You're going to have to keep turning it on and off because it is a little hard to mix sometimes. and then just keep mixing it until it's creamy and smooth. So after that, your mixture should look like this. It shouldn't be too thick. It should just be not too thin either, though. You don't want it like that. And I would also recommend using a spatula to get it off the sides when it gets stuck when you're mixing it. And then I pulled these out of the oven. Mine were like thinner, so this one got burnt a little bit, but it should still be fine. I only ended up having to put them in for probably about 10 minutes or so. So make sure you keep checking those because I feel like it's different for how much you layer on. So now we have to wait for 30 minutes for these to cool off, and then we're gonna put our toppings on. So I waited 30 minutes for these to cool down, and now I'm going to take some of this, and I'm going to layer it on here so that you can, obviously it has to come on here somewhere. So I am putting this on my fruit pizza. And then after we're done with that, we're going to put the fruits on top, which really just kind of tops your fruit pizza off, and it makes it taste so much better when you have fruit on it. So after you get it all on there, it should look like this, where it's completely covered up. And now we're going to take some of our fruit and put it on top. So I'm going to put the kiwis, try to spread them out as much as you can. I'm going to put them on first and then put the strawberries on top, because I feel like it might look better that way. So just spread them out as much as you can, so it's not too overpowering when you eat one. So spread them out. So when I put the strawberries on, I just kind of sprinkle them all over because you don't have to worry about spacing them out as much. So I just kind of sprinkle them on, and then since I have two of them, I made the mistake the first time put the kiwi on, and I accidentally put them all on one without, and then I realized, oh, I have to have some for the other one, so I just kind of sprinkle them. Make sure you get them on the corners too for whoever gets that corner piece. And your fruit pizza is officially made, but there is one more step. Well, and if you want to see it, it looks like this. It's really good. You should totally try it. There's one more step to this. You're going to have to put your fruit pizza in a fridge for an hour so that it all chills out, and then you can enjoy your fruit pizza. So that was the recipe for the fruit pizza. They turned out really good. They look just like this. You can also add other fruits on it if you want, like blueberries, etc., whatever fruits that you'd like to put on there. So make sure you like and subscribe and hit the notifications bell so you can see when I post new recipe videos. Also make sure you go check out my s'mores video and try to do that recipe too, and comment down below. Did you like this recipe and did it work for you? Bye guys.